As Gangubai Kathiawadi is all set to hit the screens today, let's delve deep and see how the film really is. The Sanjay Leela Bhansali directorial tells the story of Ganga Kathiawadi, a carefree lass from Gujarat who's lured into the meshes of love and is tricked into being sold as a brothel in Mumbai's infamous red light district Kamatipura. From there on begins a journey of becoming the reigning Mafia queen in the area who fought for the rights of the women in the flesh trade. Ganga falls in love with the suitor Ramanik, who, aware of her ambition of becoming an actor, inveigles her to flee to Bombay with him. The innocent soul that she is fills a bag with cash from her mother's cupboard and boards the train en route Bombay with the love of her life. Ramanik sells her into a brothel for $1,000 and abandons her. It is here that she is raped and brutalized, but eventually she becomes one with her plight. It is not late before she manages to garner the attention of a local political chieftain, Karim Lala, and becomes his close aide. With his help, she climbs the ladder of crime and also harbors the intention of contesting the elections in the locality. And this brings her face to face with the rival Razia Bai, who will go to any extent to make Gangu's life a living hell. Thanks to all her underworld connections, she manages to win the elections and also ends up meeting the then Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. Sanjay Bhansali's direction looks a little loose with some careless continuity errors. His grip on characterization too falls short with the film, as the looks and mannerisms of a seasoned prostitute don't quite fit the bill, especially when compared to the other actresses who have played the role of a courtesan so effortlessly in the past. Mr. Bhansali tries real hard to make his Gangubai convincing. Such roles require a certain amount of what I would call a somber calm, ek thehrao in the demeanor, a certain amount of weight on the face and the very being. This was clearly missing. Well, with the film, the intention was to see the 50s and the 60s era, whereas the body language of the main characters looked modern. That's where it falls short. The film, which is a screen adaptation from one of the chapters of the true crime reportage bestseller Mafia Queens of Mumbai by Hussain Zaidi, has Alia Bhatt playing the lead role. Alia as Gangubai tries her best to look the part. She's a good actress, but she tries a little too hard to fit into the shoes of a brothel madam. The first half doesn't even look convincing. However, things changed quite drastically post the interval. This could possibly be because of the sudden change in the graph of a character, the dialogues which are far better than the ones that we hear in the first half. Now let's talk about Shantanu Maheshwari, who plays a 20-something tailor who is smitten by Gangubai. His characterizations and mannerisms too are half-baked. For instance, in one scene, there is a gala celebration of his marriage with another girl, and in that, there is a shot where he has a haphazard look on his face trying to figure out how could the lady who he knew loved him get him married to some other girl. And in the very next shot, he's seen laughing. His mannerisms too didn't seem restrained in the scenes that he was part of, especially when his characterization required it. He's better off doing bits and pieces on television and all Balaji web series for that matter. However, this was Mr. Bhansali's shortcoming, and he probably overlooked all of it. Where is the direction, I ask? Seema Pava was befitting as the madam of the brothel that Gangu was sold into. She didn't have much to do though, but as far as the continuity errors are concerned, there were quite a few, even in the scenes she was a part of. Ajay Devgan as Underworld Don Rahim Lala has a guest appearance in the film. He performs his role to the T. We don't see much of him in the film, but as usual, he acts with his eyes and is pretty good with whatever he does in the film. Mr. Pallav Chanda's art direction though stole the show. The sets were an exact look-alike of the buildings in the area. The curved art deco type constructions that make way for many little lanes lined with theatres are still very much a part of Kamatipura. The background score and music by Ankit Balhara, Sanchit Balhara and Sanjay Leela Bhansali did play their part in evoking emotions in the scenes that required. The cinematography by Mr. Sudeep Chatterjee too was an okay job done, with an abundance to the low-angle shots we are so accustomed to see in all Bhansali films. Nothing stands out though. There were many inspirations that were taken from several films of the yesteryears. For instance, there is a scene where Shantanu's character serenades Gangu in a buggy or a horse cart. The entire sequence seemed to be lifted from Kamal Amrohi's Pakiza, where Ashok Kumar is seen serenading Meena Kumari in a buggy. with her head resting on his lap. All in all, it is definitely a one-time watch film, but instead of watching it in theatres, you can surely wait for it to hit Netflix. It is a 2.5 out of 5 stars from me. This is Sandeep with Digihunt signing off.